Hey Truth Seekers, it's Nathaniel here to cover our final video in our Fellowship Strategy series. And today we will be covering Love and Holy Spirit. Alright. To start off with, we got a new card from Fearless. It is a new Furball, who is a 1 for 2, which is terrible value, but has a Fellowship bonus of a 1 for 5, which is actually pretty good. Pretty good Fellowship. But that isn't really to be compared with Tweetheart, which is a 1 for 3, or becomes a 1 for 6. All around, Tweetheart's a better card, but Furball does defeat some important Cindy's this set. Tweetheart defeated Belligerent or Belligerent in Cross Trainers. However, there's nothing saying that you can't run both of these cards in the same deck. Like, this is great for like a 1-cost deck. So, yep. Then we get Fairly. Fairly is a 2 for 4, or can become a Fellowship bonus of 2 for 8, which has the ability that says apply the Fellowship bonus for this card as long as it's active in the same turn as another animal, regardless of its kind. Next up, we have Mongaroo. Mongaroo is a 2 for 4 that has a Fellowship bonus of 8 with the Holy Spirit. Fairly is still technically better because it can also be activated with a variety of different kinds of Animo. But Mongaroo is a good substitute if you don't have Fairly, because you'll see that Mongaroo is a more common card than Fairly, just by its border with its rarity. And then you also can have access to Climate. Climate is a 3 for 4, terrible value, but can become a Fellowship bonus of 10, which is a pretty decent value for it. This is also a Bible verse challenge that Carol and I did. Okay. Next up, we have the Saltinis. So this Saltini is from Cross Trainers and is a 2 for 10, already better off than this one, and becomes a 2 for 14. So big value, one of the highest values in the game, virtue point to cost ratio wise. But this Saltini, although it is a 2 for 8 and has a Fellowship bonus of 2 for 11 with the Holy Spirit, it has the ability, says when played, grow Saltini level 1 to return your active Saint to the hand of the player who revealed it to you. This Saltini is really good because it can get rid of a Cine that has an act or an ability that's been bothering you, or get rid of a Cine that's going to steal points or prevent you from winning the game. So this Saltini does a really good job of taking care of Cines. So I might actually choose to run this Saltini to get rid of Cines over this Saltini, who has a better virtue point ratio or better virtue point value. Moving on to our Holy Spirit Animo, we only have 2 to go over, which is Raspberry level 1 from Red Letter Day. It's a 2 for 4 or becomes a 2 for 7. And you have this Quillo, whose ability says the Fellowship bonus on this card is enabled as long as this card's active in the same turn as any Faith, Hope, or Love level 1 Animo. So it can become a 2 for 10, which is really good value. You also have other options with Quillo, especially because most likely you'll also be running the level 2 Love Quillo. So you could probably run 2 of those and 1 of this, as this one could be like a finisher. But anyways, moving on to our Universal Animo, we have Servitude. Servitude doesn't actually have a cost that works with this, but it does have an ability that says this card costs 1 less power to activate for each Love or Holy Spirit Animo in your small group. So if you have him and 3 of combination of those kinds of Animo, he can be free, and a free 5 is actually pretty decent. Then we get another Raspberry from Red Letter Day, which is a Love, Holy Spirit, and 1 Universal. It's not bad, but it does pale in comparison to the Opalist, who is 1 Holy Spirit, 1 Love, 1 Universal for 10. It's nice that Opalist came back in Fearless, even if it's just for a Universal card. And it has a really good Bible verse about having your mind set on the things of Christ. Okay. And then we have our letters. the letter to Corinth and a letter to Galatia. Letter to Corinth says, search your deck for a card that provides a love fellowship bonus. And the letter to Galatia says, search your deck for a card that provides a Holy Spirit fellowship bonus. These cards are really good. However, it does not go grab your Quillo level 2, but it does grab your Raspberry. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of neat that this card came out when there was like only one Holy Spirit fellowship bonus. Well, not really. It wasn't only one, but there's only like a few cards that had fellowship bonuses when it first came out. So anyways, we're going to bring that video to a close. This has been our video on love and Holy Spirit fellowship bonuses. So in the meantime, Truth Seekers, keep learning virtues and defeating sinnies.